A gap issue in our flex box. This is also because we have not imported the CSS. So just save and now let's see. You can see a vertical line, the flex box have a direction of row. So I am targeting this div and this div 75 rem. I will not repeat the explanation of display flex. Flex in every tutorial again and again because I think you probably have the good idea about how the flex box work. Okay, so now let's save and see if it is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, after this, as you can see in our follow status, I have an HR tag. So I will target this as follow as the HR tag inside the follow status. So I will make it a width of 85% and giving it a border of 1 pixel solid, and I have this horizontal line color inside the app.css. Let's save and see. So here you can see these two lines are looking beautiful now. After this, I am targeting the div inside the follow status. You can check out it here. The div inside the follow status, and I am making it as display flex and a gap of 1 rem. As you know, by default the flex box have a direction of row. So I am targeting this div and this div will have a flex direction of row. Okay, so now let's save and see if it is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, after this, as you can see in our follow status, I have an HR tag. So I will target this as follow as the HR tag inside the follow status. So I will make it a width of 85% and giving it a border of one pixel solid, and I have this horizontal line color inside the app.css. Let's save and see. So here you can see these two lines are looking beautiful now. After this, I am targeting the div inside the follow status. You can check out it here, the div inside the follow status, and I am making it as display flex and a gap of 1 rem. As you know, by default the flex box have a direction of row. So I am targeting this div, and this div will have a flex direction of row. So this div, this vertical line, and this div will be in the row direction that we want. Okay. So after this, I am making its width of 80% of our total profile card and justify content spread around align item center. And now let's see the results. Here you can see as I have made the align item space around, so they are on the corners of our profile card. I am targeting the follow div. So follow is two times, one here and the other one is here, but the styling will be the same for the followers and following. So I'm making display flex, direction column, gap of 0.5 rem again. Item center and content center. Let's save and see the action. So now they are in the column direction. The first span inside the follow will have the weight bold, and the second span will have a color of gray. And the font size of 13 pixels. Let's save and see. Here you can see. Now there is only one thing missing, which is the vertical line. So I will target the vertical div and I will make it as height of 150%, and to make it appear on our application, I am making its border from the left side 2 pixels, border type solid, and the color is again of our horizontal line. So now let's just save and see. So here I am noticing one thing, that we are unable to see our vertical line. So why this is happening? Okay. So after debugging, I have found that I am not importing our profile site.css in our profile site.jsx. So therefore this is just an overlay issue. So if I go to the profile site.jsx, and here if I import our from the same directory profile site.css, and if you see that we have also a gap issue in our flex box, this is also because we have not imported the css. So just save and now let's see. You can see our vertical line is visible and now we have a clear gap. Okay, if you remember, follow. Here I will say div dot follow defined. I have made the comment of follow status and I am targeting the most. Now just go to the CSS here, closing here, and I am writing the HR after this. Now let's save and see. Here you can horizontal line color inside the section. The first span inside the follow will have the weight bold and the second span will have status. You can check out it here. Horizontal line 75 rem. I will not repeat the explanation of display flex in every tutorial again and again because I think you probably have the good idea about how the flex box work. Okay, so now let's save and see if it is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, after this, as you can see in our follow status, I have an HR tag. So I will target this as follow as the HR tag inside the follow status. So I will make it a width of 85% and giving it a border of 1 pixel solid, and I have this horizontal line color inside the app.css. Let's save and see. So here you can see these two lines are looking beautiful now. After this, I am targeting the div inside the follow status. Status. You can check out it here, the div inside the follow status, and I am making it as display flex and a gap of 1 rem. As you know, by default the flex box have a direction of row. So I am targeting this div, and this div will have a flex direction of row. So this div, this vertical line, and this div will be in the row direction that we want. Okay, so after this I am making its width of 80% of our total profile card and justify content spread around, align item center. And now let's see the results. Here you can see as I have made the align item section, the first vertical line is visible and now we have a clear gap. Okay, debugging, I have found that I am not importing our profile site.css in our profile site.jsx. So therefore this is just an overlay issue. So if I go to the profile site.jsx, and here if I import our from the same directory profile site.css, and if you see that we have also a gap issue in our flex box, this is also because we have not imported the css. So image cover dot image input and a search icon. Let's type. Our first component will be the search component, so I will say logo search, as we have direction and have, and the last one is the right direction. So basically here inside src I am going to three sites, so I will just simply write the gap 1 rem. Here I will import simply it as home.css from the same directory, and let's see the results. Here you can see they are in the column direction and have the widths we want. Okay, it's time to make the profile site first. So here inside the src I will make another folder and I will say it as components. Inside the components I site dot will make the text bigger. Okay, our first component will be the search component, so I will say logo search, as we have no such component in our directories. So first make it inside the components folder. I will make logo search, and it will again have logo search.jsx and logo search.css. Okay, so css on the left side. So inside profile site.css here, so here I will define its styling as profile site class, and it will have display flex direction of column, of course, because it has three components in column, a gap of 1 rem, and align items center, and finally the overflow will be auto. Okay, card in background will be the variable of card color. Now let's save and see. Border of our profile card, you can see that there is no border radius is applied. So why this is happening? Although we have applied the border radius in our profile card, you can see that the border is 1.5 rem. And to make it appear on our application, I am making its border from the left side 2 pixels, border type solid, and the color is again of our horizontal line. So now let's just save and see. So here I am noticing one thing, that we are unable to see our vertical line. So why this is happening? Okay. So after debugging, I have found that I am not importing our profile site.css in our profile site.jsx. So therefore, this is just an overlay issue. So if I go to the profile site.jsx, and here if I import our from the same directory profile site.css, and if you see that we have also a gap issue in our flexbox, this is also because we have not imported the css. So just save, and now let's see. You can see our vertical line is visible, and now we have a clear gap. Okay, if you remember, we have made a border radius for our profile card, but it is not showing because this is a very sharp border of our profile card. You can see that there is no border radius is applied. So why this is happening? Although we have applied the border radius in our profile card, you can see that the border is 1.5 rem. So this is an issue with our cover image. So to fix this issue, I will make the overflow x as the clip. Okay, so after making this, now you can see our border radius is visible. And also we are unable to see the color of our profile card, which is a pure white color. So here I will say the background will be the variable of card color. Now let's save and see. Here our profile card is looking very nice. Now we just have to make a link for my profile. Inside the JSX of profile card, after this div, I am making an, I will say my profile. Just like this, and I am styling it as the span inside the profile card. So I will say the profile card have a span, and for this span the font weight will be the bold and the color will be the orange, and align item center margin bottom of 1. One REM and cursor will be the point. Now let's see, here we have, but it's not in the center, so let's see why. Okay, they should not be the line items, they should be the align self center. Now let's see, here we have the my profile link. So profile card is now ready. Let's move on to the following card. So to make the followers card, again I will go to the components folder and I will make a folder with the name followers card. Inside the followers card, I will make two files, followers card.jsx and followers card.css. Now I'm opening the CSS on the left side, as we know that in JSX write RAFCE and import its CSS. So yeah, here I am importing it as followers card dot css. Now to see this on our page, I have to import it in the profile side. So where is our profile side component? This is our profile side component. So below the profile card there is a followers card. Now let's save and see. So there is a typo of S, I think so. Yeah, there is, the name is followers card. So I should rename it from cards to just card. Okay. Yeah. Now let's save and see. Okay. Here is the heading followers card, means it's working correctly. Again, go to the JSX file here. Let's close this and make the most parent div at followers card. Okay. And inside this, first of all, I have an h3 heading, and which is saying who is following you, just like this. Now let's save and see. Okay, you can see this is the heading. Okay, if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can have a clear idea we need some data to make this card. And if we hard code this data, it will be very stressful for us. So what I'm going to do, I will make a folder, and in the folder there will be a files for the data. Of course, we will make it dynamic when we connect it with our MongoDB. But for this tutorial of front end, I am just making the data files in the same src. So yeah, data folder, and it will have data followers data. So inside the followers data, I will write all the data required for the followers card. First of all, I am importing images from our image directory. Okay, as image 1, image 2, image 3, or these are basically the profile images. And similarly to image 4, Now I am making an array of followers and exporting it. Inside the followers array, there will be the objects. So this is the syntax of an object, and inside each object there will be a name, a username, and the image. Okay, I think you are having a clear idea how it's going to working, that the each person will be targeted as its name, username, and the image. These are the attributes that are required in the followers card. Similarly, the second person and the third person. And the fourth one. Now let's save this, and inside the followers card, so I am importing this data as import followers from the data and the followers data. Now what I'm going to do next, I'll say for the followers array that we have imported, I am mapping all the data members of this array, and for each follower with its ID, let's return something like this, and the return statement with the div, and the first div will have the class name of follower. And let's say each follower is saying mm, yes follower. Okay, just to test this. Now let's save and see the result. Here you can all the data members of this array, and for each follower with its ID, let's return something like this, and the return statement with the div, and the first div will have the class name of follower, and let's say each follower is saying mm, yes follower. Okay, just to test this. Now let's save and see the results. Here you can see we have 4 times yes follower string because we have the 4 followers in our array. It means it is working very fine. Now after this, I am opening the word wrap. Okay, so just remove this string, and inside the follower I am making again a div. Inside the div there will be the image of the follower, follower. So what I will do, the source will be the follower dot image. Okay, as you can see in the data, I am targeting the image as the image img key, and this image will have a class name of follower image, just like this. After this image, I am having a div with the class name of name, which have 2 spans. The first one, the second one, inside the first one I will have the name of our follower, so follower dot name, and inside the second span I have the username of our follower, so I will say the username. Now let's save and see. Yeah, these are the images and their usernames and the names. After this, I have to make a follow button. So it will give user a choice that he or she can also follow the person who is following him or her. Okay, so there will be a button, and inside this button, there will be text like follow. Now let's save and see. Okay, so it's time to style this card. As you know that we will write the styling in the followers card.css. So here I am targeting the most parent class followers card. Okay, so you can see this here, this class. So for the followers card, first of all, I am making its width 100% and a border radius of zero point 0.5 rem, and the gap of 1 rem, flex direction, of course the column, and the font size of 13 pixels. Let's see. So there is basically a typo, there should be s. Okay, so now again just save and see. Our styling has been applied. Okay, so for more styling I am targeting the each follower, and for each follower display flex and justify content space between. So why I am doing space between, if we have at a look pre-built version, you can see that the image, its name, and the follow button, they are taking the whole space of the follower div, and they are making a pretty good alignment, and this alignment is only possible by space between. So therefore after this I am using the line item centers, and let's save and see our result here. You can see that they are also now aligned. Our next task is to fix the name and the profile image. So for this, I will target the div inside the follower div. You can see that the inside the follower, I have a div which is covering the image and the name. So for this div, I will make it display flex and a gap of 10 pixels. For more, I will next target the follower image and giving it a width of 3.2 rem, a very small width, and height will be also 3.2 rem. This is also a small, and because we want these images not too much large, and as we know that all images should be perfectly round, so I am giving a border radius of 50%. Let's see the results. Because here we have IMAGE and here we have only IMG. So I am fixing the spelling. Now let's save and see. Okay, here now you can see our images are looking good now. After this, I am targeting the name and making it also display flex because it have two spans inside it. It will have a flex direction of column items at the flex start and justify content center. The first span, which is the name of our user, will have the font weight of bold. Now let's see. Here we have a very good alignment. Okay, the username should be start with at the rate. So what I will do for this pen, I will just simply write at. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful this is looking. It's time to style this follow button. But you know that we have to use the buttons many times in our project. So it will be good if I make a general styling for all the buttons for our application. So what I'm basically going to do, I will give it a class name of do the styling for the class button inside our app.css. So I will go to the app.css. Here below this blur class, I am targeting the button, and this button will have a display flex, line item center, justify content. This button will have display flex, line item center, justify content center, and for more the color will be white and the border will be none for our all buttons because I don't like borders around the buttons, and the border radius for each button will be the 0.5 rem. You can change this value for your specific button, and I will explain you how you can do it next. Okay, but for now, the background of our buttons will be the variable, which is the button bg. Okay, and the animation, and you can simply say that transition animation for the buttons will be change will take 100 microseconds with an animation of ease out. Now let's save and see the buttons. Here you can see how our buttons are looking. Okay, so these are just the general stylings. Now we have to make the specific styling for the following button. So what I will do, I will go to the followers card, and in the following card.jsx, I will make the button class as FC button. So for the FC button, I will do the styling inside the followers card.css. I will target this as FC button, and for the FC button, height will be 2 rem, and the padding left will be 20 pixels, and similarly the padding right will be also 20 pixels. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautiful our buttons are looking now. For more, we should make the cursor as pointer on hover. So again, I will go to the app.css. So yeah, here app.css, and I will say on button hover, make the cursor as pointer. If you want more styling, then what we can do more, I will say on hover the color Color of text will also be changed as the orange, and the background color will become transparent. Okay, it will give a very nice effect for our button. For more, the border should be visible on hover, which will be the 2 pixels solid and with the color of that text orange. Now let's save and see. So you can see how beautifully this is working. So our followers card is ready now. It's time to make the center side the post sides. So now in the components folder, here I am making another folder for the post side, which is the center side of our application. So here I am just write post side, the name of folder, and inside there will be two files, post side.jsx and post side.css, like this. Now opening both of these files side by side, and inside JSX I'm writing RAFCE and importing its CSS here. So from the same directory post site.css, I am repeating these steps again and again in every component because they are necessary and I want that you should remember these steps always. So you never gonna confuse. Okay, so I have to import this post site in our home page. So inside home.jsx, just below this profile site, now I am importing the post site. Okay, so it is auto imported now. So let's see the result. Is there any change on the page? Here you can see this is the post site text, mean it is working fine. So if we have a look at a pre-built version, you can see that in the post site, first of all, we have this post share section where we can add a photo and we can write anything and then we can share it. So first of all, I'm going to make this upper component. For this, inside the post site, first of all, I will make a parent div with the name post site. Okay, this is basically the class name. Inside this, there will be two components. You can see that the first one will be the share component and second one will be the post component. The post component will carry all these posts. Okay, so overall this center side will contain just two components. Let's start first of all with the styling of this center. I'm targeting the post side class and making it display flex direction of column, and the gap between the elements will be 1 rem. The height of this section will be 100 view height and the overflow will be auto, means it is scrollable. So just save this and here I am writing the text as share component. Okay, so just to see if this is working or not. Yeah, so it is working fine. Now inside the component folder again I am going to make post share component. So the folder name post share post share dot jsx and a css. So post share dot css. Now opening them side by side, and for the JSX just write RFC so we can just import it in post side. So here it will be auto imported. As you can see that this component is also imported, and let's save this again. Now have a look, here we are seeing the post share component. Let's start making it. So I'm closing the terminal and making it bigger. Now the most parent div, the post share. Okay, inside this div, first of all I will have a profile image. As you can see inside the pre-built version, first of all we have this profile image, and for the source of this image I will import it from our image directory. So I will say import. So now let's save it, and inside the src, now I am just writing the profile image, and let's save and see if we have this image. Yeah, now we have this image. It's time to style this first. So inside the post share dot css, first of all I will target the post share div, and I will make it as display flex with the gap of 1 rem, and the background color of, as we know that we are giving a card color to every card in our application where it is needed, and then I am giving it a padding of 1 rem, and the border radius of also 1 rem. Now for the image I will target it as the image inside the post share section. It is targeted as this, and I'm giving it a border radius of 50%, means it will be totally rounded, and then the width of 3 rem only, and the height of also 3 rem. So now just see this image. Okay, the styling is not applied because probably we have not imported css. Yes, so first of all let's import this from the same directory, postshare.css. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our image now have a very beautiful circular shape. After this image, we have this text input in our pre-built version. So now let's make this. First of all, I will make an other div. Inside this div, I am making an input with the type text, and the placeholder I am writing it as just what's happening that you probably see on many social media applications. Okay, so just write it under double quotation. Okay, this is giving an error because all these things should be under the upper div. Okay, now let's format the code. Okay, now you can see it's in the right position. And after this, I am making an other div for all the post share options. So I will just write them as post options, and here will lie all the options of our share. As you can see, the photo, video, location, and schedule, all these options will lie here inside the post share options. So to make them, first of all, I have to import all the icons that are required to make them visible. So first of all, I will import the UIL scenery icon from the icon scout. Library and a circle and a location point with a schedule which will be like a calendar. And let's save this, and here I am going to use these icons. First of all, I will make a div with the class name of option. So I will give the same class to every share option. Okay, so I am doing this for easiness in the CSS. So our first icon will be the UIL scenery. Now let's save and see if this is imported or not. Okay, here this is. I am pasting another, and one another. Okay, so my second icon will be the UIL circle like this. The fourth one will be the location point, I assume, and the fourth one will be the schedule icon. So just like this. Now let's save and see. Okay, here I have all the icons in the column direction. I also want to make headings for them. Okay, first of all, let's format the code like this. And to see the proper structure, now you can see the proper structure. For each icon I am writing their headings. Here will be written as the photo, and here will be the video, and here the location, like this. And the fourth one will be the schedule. Okay, here you can see now they have their headings. After this, now we want to make their colorings and their alignment just like this. Let's see how I am going to make this. For this, I will open the CSS file, and below this image of our photo share, I will target the div inside the photo share. So this div is basically this div, this one just below the image, which is containing the what's happening input text. Okay, so I mean input field. So for this div, first of all, I will make it as display flex and the flex direction of column with the width of 90% of total available space with the gap of 1 rem. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our input has a larger width than previous one. It's time to target this input. So here I am targeting getting the input inside this div. You can see this by hovering to, first of all, the posture element inside this. There is a div with an input tag. So I am making its background with the input color variable, the border radius of 10 pixels, padding of 10 pixels, the basic stuff with a font size of 17 pixels and the border none. Now let's save, and here you can see this is our input text, but there is an issue with the outline. So let's fix this. I will make its outline none. So now our shared input is looking very pretty. It's time to align these icons. So for these icons here, I am targeting the post options. You can see this div here. Here I have made the post options inside which there are all the shareable options. So what I'm going to do, I will make them as display flex, justify content space round. So they will take the total available space of their parent div, and the each option will have a padding of 5 pixels and a padding left and right of 10 pixels. And similarly, the border radius of each option will be 1. So now let's save and see. Here you can see as we have no boundary. So basically there is no use of making the border radius, but I was just experimenting with some border colors, but they not fit best. You can skip the border radius. Okay, now let's move on. After this, every option will be as a display flex with the align item center, justify content center, and a font size of 12 pixels. Type of functionality of pixels, and similarly the border radius of each option will be 1. So now let's save and see. Here you can see as we have no boundary, so basically there is no use of making the border radius, but I was just experimenting with some border colors, but they not fit best. You can skip the border radius. Okay, now let's move on. After this, every option will be as a display flex with the align item center, justify content center, and a font size of 12 pixels. So here you can see that now they have a 12 pixel size. After this, I want whenever I hover these icons, my cursor should be like pointer. So for this, on hovering, I am making the cursor as the pointer. Now let's save and see. Here you can see our cursor is like pointer, but the problem is that they should be in horizontal direction just below this input. Okay, so there is a problem that our post chair having the display flex with the flex direction column. So this image and the input div will be in the column direction, but the post option will also become in the column direction because it is independent of these two tags. So what I should do, I should move all of this post option div inside the input div. So what will happen, this div and the post option div will become now one part. So I should format the code. Now you can understand it clearly. This is the parent and this is the child. Let's save, and now you can see they are in a horizontal direction. It's time to give them different color for our post options. For this, what I'm going to do, as these colors are dynamic from each other, so I am declaring styling for each of one independently. So for the photo, I am targeting the variable which is having the name of photo. Like this. Similarly, I am just copying this and I will apply this here. for the video, and the name of variable will be the video. Similarly for the location, and the style will be the location. And similarly for the last one with the variable name of schedule, like this. Now let's save and see. Here we have these beautiful colors, but I am noticing one thing, that the background of card is not applied, which is white. So let's see why this is not applied. Okay, in the CSS. Okay, so here we have forget to write the where, which is the syntax to declare the variables. Now you can see our share input is almost ready, but we have to make this share button. And we also have to make this functionality of adding photo and to remove it. But it's another topic. Let's move on to the share button. So to make the share button, below this schedule div, I am making the button, and this button will have the text share. It's time to declare its class name. So the class name will be simple button that we have in the app.css, but it still has some its own specific properties. Therefore I am writing as post share button, the ps button. So first of all, let's first see this without declaring the ps button stylings. So here you can see this is our button. So definitely we have to add some padding and some margin. So what I'm going to do, I will just target this ps button in the css. So just go here at the very end, dot ps, and for this button the padding will be 5 pixels with the padding left of 20 pixels. Similarly for the padding right of 20 pixels. And a font size of, here this is the font size of 12 pixel. Let's save this and see the result. So now our button is completely ready to use. So to make the photo selection possible, what I am going to do, I will import the two hooks from the React library, I mean React framework, whatever you say. Okay, so the first one will be the use state, and the second one will be the use ref. Yeah, just like this. So let's use them one by one in our post share function. First of all, I will use the use state with an image and a function. set image. Okay, a very basic stuff. I will use the use state and the initial value will be null. Now use the use ref hook. Here I am making a instance of our use ref with the name const. I am saying it as image ref and it is an instance of use ref hook. Yeah, as simple as this. After this I am going to make a div just below this button and just a simple div. It will have an input, but the difference is that the type of this input will be of the file. Now in this input type file I have its name as my image, and I will declare a function that on change it will change some value, but let's skip this for now. Okay, the reference it will be used, it is a image ref. Okay, now as you know that in a pre-built version we had our selected image just below these share options. Here you can see that our input type file is visible and we can choose any picture, but there is no use of showing this. So what I am going to now our button is completely ready to use. So to make the photo selection possible, what I am going to do, I will import the two hooks from the React library. I mean React framework, whatever you say. Okay, so the first one will be the use state and the second one will be the use ref. Yeah, just like this. So let's use them one by one in our post share function. First of all, I will use the use state with an image and a function set image. Okay, a very basic stuff. I will use the use state and the initial value will be null. Now use the use ref hook. Here I am making a instance of our use ref with the name const. I am saying it as image ref and it is an instance of use ref hook. Yeah, as simple as this. After this I am going to make a div just below this button and just a simple div. It will have an input, but the difference is that the type of this input will be of the file. Now in this input type file I have its name as my image, and I will declare a function that on change it will change some value, but let's skip this for now. Okay, the reference it will be used, it is a image ref. Okay, now as you know that in a pre-built version we had our selected image just below these share options. Here you can see that our input type file is visible and we can choose any picture, but there is no use of showing this. So what I am going to do here for this div, I will declare its style. Okay, so basically on this style I will make it display as none. Now save this and you can see the input is gone, but its reference is available for us in the program. So I will use its reference by saying on change. Okay, so what I will say on change, it will fire a function which is on image change, like this. Now let's define this function on image change on the top of our program. I mean on the top of our file. Here whatever you can say, const, just paste this and it will be a fat arrow function like this. Okay, so as this function is using the image that we have selected, so of course we will use an event that will carry that image. Okay, so we will use this event as if event dot target dot files is true, and the event dot target dot files and then we will use the index of 0 is also true. Then what to do, then let make an image object which will be equal to event dot target dot files and the index of 0, and just after this use the function of our use state, which is the set image, and inside the set image make an object with the key value of image, and it will use the url dot create object url and the reference of image. So what this function is basically doing, let's have a look in detail. There will be an event that is fired on our hidden input. So how it is fired? It is fired by the reference that we will set on our photo option. Okay, when this event is fired, now we will check for the availability of any image file. First of all, it will check if this event contains any files, and if it contains, then is there image present, that should be on the 0th index of our files. So if it is present, then we are just declaring a variable that will carry this image and set the image in our use state with the key of image. So as simple as this. If you repeat this video for previous 2 minutes again, then you will surely have a clear idea how I am making it. Okay, it's time to set the reference for our photo share option. So I will go to the photo share option. Okay, just here, and for its div, what I am going to do, I will make a function of on click, and on click a function that will be executed, and in this function the image ref dot current dot. So what this piece of code is doing, so whenever you click this photo icon of our share option, then our image reference will be clicked, and when it will be clicked, then the control will go to this input, and when the control will go to this input, it will open the directory box. Okay, so from the directory box, when you click on an image, then the control will go to this function on image change, and on image change the selected image will be assigned to our this image in the use state. Okay, so I know at the start it's very complicated to capture, but when you go through same parts 2 to 3 times, then you will clearly have the idea. Okay, so what to do when the image is selected, how to show the image on the screen. Below this div here, I am saying that if image exists, okay, it is similar to our if statement. So what it do, it is saying if image exists means if the image object is true, then these two ampersand signs are representing the then statement. So then what to do, then fire this execution div with the class name of preview image. Okay, so inside the preview image, first of all, I will have an icon scout SVG of cross that will be present over every image, so we can deselect the image. To import this cross, I am just simply so copy any of the statement and paste this, and here inside of UIL schedule, I will say times. Okay. UIL times. So this is the name of a cross icon. So here I am just simply writing UIL times and just simply close it. Now let's save this and let's have a look what's happening in our application. If I click on a photo, it opens, and then when I click this, our UIL times exists on the screen. That means it's working very fine. Of image, and it will use the URL dot create object URL and the reference of image. So what this function is basically doing, let's have a look in detail. There will be an event that is fired on our hidden input. So how it is fired? It is fired by the reference that we will set on our photo option. Okay, when this event is fired, now we will check for the availability of any image file. First of all, it will check if this event contains any files, and if it contains, then is there image present? That should be on the zeroth index of our files. So if it is present, then we are just declaring a variable that will carry this image and set the image in our use state with the key of image. So as simple as this. If you repeat this video for previous 2 minutes again, then you will surely have a clear idea how I am making it. Okay, it's time to set the reference for our photo share option. So I will go to the photo share option. Okay, just here, and for its div, what I am going to do, I will make a function of on click, and on click a function that will be executed, and in this function the image ref dot current dot. So what this piece of code is doing, so whenever you click this photo icon of our share option, then our image reference will be clicked. And when it will be clicked, then the control will go to this input. And when the control will go to this input, it will open the directory box. Okay. So from the directory box, when you click on an image, then the control will go to this function on image change. And on image change, the selected image will be assigned to our this image in the use state. Okay, so I know at the start it's very complicated to capture, but when you go through same parts 2 to 3 times, then you will clearly have the idea. Okay, so what to do when the image is selected, how to show the image on the screen. Below this div here, I am saying that if image exist. Okay, it is similar to our if statement. So what it do, it is saying if image exists, means if the image object is true, then these two ampersand signs are representing the then statement. So then what to do, then fire this execution div with the class name of preview image. Okay, so inside the preview image, first of all, I will have an icon scout SVG of cross that will be present over every image, so we can deselect the image. To import this cross, I am just simply so copy any of the statement and paste this, and here inside of UIL schedule, I will say times. Okay, UIL times. So this is the name of a cross icon. So here I am just simply writing UIL times and just simply close it. Now let's save this, and let's have a look what's happening in our application. If I click on a photo, it opens, and then when I click this, our URL times exists on the screen. That means it's working very fine. Okay, so with along with this cross icon, there should be image also visible. So to make the image visible, I will make an image tag, and the source of this image tag is our use state image. So image dot image is our use state, and dot image is the key of our object. Now let's save, and again here if I click on photo and click on any image, then you can see that the image is visible. Okay, now we want on clicking this cross option, the image should be removed from the screen. So to do this, here on the URL times, I am making a function on click, and on a function will be executed, and inside this function what will happen, the following set image will become null. Okay, so it will just clear off our use state. Now let's have a look again. I refresh and then select any image. When I click this, you can see that the image is clear the screen. So to do this, here on the URL times, I am making a function on click, and on a function will be executed, and inside this function what will happen, the following set image will become null. Okay, so it will just clear off our use state. Now let's have a look again. I refresh and then select any image. When I click this, you can see that the image is clear. So it's time to style all of this stuff. I will go to the postshare.css, and below this PS button, first of all, I will target the preview image. Okay. So inside the preview image, I'm making its position relative, and along with the position relative, I want to make the image inside the preview image div as the position absolute. Okay, basically no, the cross icon is not the image. This time is not the image. This is a SVG. So instead of IMG, I should write the SVG. Okay, now save it, and below this, I will make it write 1 rem, and from the top 0.5 rem, like this. Now the cursor will be like the pointer on hovering it. Now let's save and see. If I select any image, here you can see the cross icon is on our very perfect place. It's time to make the width and height of preview image manageable. So again, now I will target the image inside the preview image, and I will make its width only 100% of the total space available, and the maximum height that the, because images will have different heights. Okay, but the maximum height of every image will be 20 rem, and the object fit will be the cover, so it will adjust the image according to the dimensions of our 20 rem height and the 100% width. So there will be no cropping issues with the image. Okay, and the border radius of that image will be 0.5 rem. Now let's save and hope for the best. Here I am selecting an image, and wow, How beautiful is this looking? I can.
This is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. I should have made every single one of these pictures my pictures as well. But nah, I will take the L for that one.
Clear this off. I can select an other image and then I can clear this off. Okay, I hope you like this functionality very much, and there should be a like and comment on this functionality. Let's move on to the post section of our application. So for the post, here inside the components, I am making an other folder with the name post, inside which there will be two files, post.jsx, as we are doing. Again and again, and the other one is for the CSS. I am doing this for the best read codability, because as I mentioned in the start that this will be a production ready application. Okay, so here I am writing RAFCE, and first of all I am importing its CSS. Of course we have not mentioned anything yet inside the CSS, but I may forget it. Okay, so now to see this post on our application, I have to import it in the post site.jsx. So here just below the post share, I am writing POS. STS posts and it will be auto imported. Now let's save and see the results. So here is the text post, means it's working fine. So now I will go to the post and I will
Let's
make
go,
a
dude.
parent div with the class name of post. Now if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can see that here we have some photos, their descriptions, name, likes. So you can clearly have an idea that we require some data to make this post, and I will not hard code it because it will become too much stressful. So again, I will make another file inside the data and I will call it as post data.json. Yes, here I am pasting some data like this. So what is this data here? I simply import. the pictures from the image directory, and then I'm making an array of objects. Each object consists of an image, the name, the description of the post, the number of likes, and if you have liked this post before or not, because we have to make the heart shape according to this value. Okay, so now just save it, and inside the post I am object consists of application and see the results. So here is the text post, means it's working fine. So now I will go to the post and I will make a parent div with the class name of post. Now if we have a look at the pre-built version, you can see that here we have some photos, their descriptions, name, likes. So you can clearly have an idea that we require some data to make this post, and I will not hard code it because it will become too much stressful. So again I will make another file inside the data and I will call it as postdata.js. Here I am pasting some data. Like this. So what is this data here? I simply imported the pictures from the image directory, and then I'm making an array of objects. Each object consists of an image, the name, the description of the post, the number of likes, and if you have liked this post before or not, because we have to make the heart shape according to this value. Okay, so now just save it, and inside the post I am importing this data. So I will import post data from the data into post data. Okay, now I will iterate through this data. Post data dot map, and then for each post along with its id, I will return a function, and in this function it will just simply return a component with the name post. Of course we have not made any post component yet, so let's first define it inside the component folder as we have did before. So just a post component with the post.js. And the post.css. Okay, so the CSS.
That's not true. That is not true. It's right there.
On the right side, just like this, and RAFCE like this. Now imported CSS first because I generally forget it. Post.css. Okay, now let's save it, and here I have to import this again. So this is the post, yeah. So now just save it and have a look at application. So you can see that here I
What you on about? What you on about? Why are you lying? Why are you lying to me?
have three times post text because I have three posts inside the post data. The first object, the second one, and the third one. Means it is iterating very fine. Okay. So now what I have to do, I will declare some styling first of all for the post. So here I will target the most parent class, and I make a display flex and the flex direction of column, and then the gap between each element in this will be of 1 rem. Now just save it and let's go to the post.css. Of course, still we have to first make the structure of our post. So I will just make div dot post, and inside this post I have to render some data. So to pass the data to this post section, I have to pass it from post. So what I will do, okay? So here I will make a parameter with the name data, and inside the data I will pass the post. Okay, so everything inside the post will pass here, and the id of this component will be simply the id. So now I am basically just passing out the data from this array to this component. Okay, so here first of all I will receive this as data, and now the first part of the post will be the image of the post. So of course the source will become data dot image, because if you know the post data have this image key, so I am retrieving it as data dot image. After this we have a reaction segment for the post, so it is called as post react. Okay, yeah, simply post it. You can see this in the pre-built version here. These three icons are the reactions for the post: the like, comment, and the share. So first of all I will make three images. Okay, control C, control V, and control V. Okay, so these are basically the three svgs that I have made. So I am importing them from our img directory. So here on the top, just below the post.css, importing these four pngs. The first one is for comment, share, heart. And not like. So not like is basically this heart, the blank one, and the liked heart is this one. So yeah, these are just simply the svgs. Okay, now I have to give source for each of them. The first one will be the like. Okay, so if the data dot like is true, then return the heart svg, and if it is not, then return the not like svg. Okay, so this is a very simple logic, you can understand it. Okay, now for the second one, there should be always comment png, and the third one share png. Okay, just save it and have a result. Okay, so these are the images that we have imported, and these.
Bro, I have a genius idea right now, bro. I have a genius idea. Oh my god, this is amazing. I should have done this. Uh, what is it called again? Mowers, clippers, yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Are the three PNGs. But there is a problem that every heart is filled now. Means this is showing that we have liked each and every post, but this is not true in our post data because the property is liked, not the likes. Likes exist on every post, but the like does not. So now let's save it and have a result. Now you can see it is only filling the heart that is like now. Okay, after this every post also has some description. So below this div I am making a span, and the description first of all contains the likes. Okay, so the number of likes. Now to make the number visible I will write data dot likes and then pass a space. So what it will render, it will render means 2300 likes and any value. Okay, so here you can see 2300 likes, 2300 likes, 800 likes. Okay, so I think you got it. Okay, after this the description contains the detail. Okay, so the detail will be something like this. There I make a span, and inside the span first of all there should be the name of the person that have posted that post. So the name should be always bold, so therefore okay I will put it under the B tag, so it will be bold like this. And then the second one is the description. Okay, the description he or she have written for his post.
Brilliant. It's brilliant.
Okay, so now let's save it and see. Here we have likes, the name, and the detail of the post. Okay, so and there should be a space. Okay, so okay, yeah, now it is perfectly aligned. Okay, it's time to apply styling for our post. I will go to the post.css. Here, first of all, I will target the most parent div post, and inside the post, I am making it display flex and the flex direction of column, because we want these all things, the image, the reactions, and the detail, all things in the column direction. So I have made it a direction column. The padding between the post and its corners are about 1 rem, and the background color is of course our card color that we are giving to each card. So you can clearly have an idea how we are maintaining the theme of our application by using the same variables. Okay, after this, the post will have a border radius of 1 rem and a gap of 1 rem between each element of the post. So just save and see. Okay, so it is too much aligned now. Okay, the next thing, we just have to give the borders for our image and also declare some height, because you can see that some images are too much large, some are very small, so I should make some proper alignment. So therefore I am targeting the image inside the post, and every image will have a width 100% of the parent element. The maximum height will be only 20 rem. The object fit should be covered, so there will be no cropping issue, and the border radius of every image will be 0.5 rem. Now let's save and see. Okay, now you can see these images are looking very pretty now. After this, I have to give some
It's beautiful. This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah. Wow.
gap between these reactions. Okay, so I will target the post, and the post react will have the display flags. Items will be at the start. Of this div, because this div is containing all this space. Okay, so the elements should always be on the start of this flex, this side. Okay, so and the gap between the element will be 1.5 mm. Now let's save and see. Here you can see how beautifully we have made our post in a very short time, and it is looking very cool, of course. Okay, the one thing we can do, that we should remove these scroll bars. They are giving too much boring effect for our application. Okay, so I am going to remove all these scroll bars from our application. What I will do, I will go to the app.css just here, and at the end of this file I will write the double column, and then I will write WebKit and scroll bar. Okay, so for every scroll bar the display will be none. Now let's see the magic. Here what happened, every scroll bar has gone now. So yeah, this is too much cool. it's time to make the right side of our application.
Too
So for the
much,
right
bro.
side, again,
I
I will
love this
go to
guy.
the components folder. Inside, I am making a folder with the name right side. And inside the right side, first of all, make the file right side.jsx and the right side.css. I know this is not a very
This is beautiful. What a beautiful website, dude. What a beautiful website.
best convention to represent the component. Components, but it's working for me fine. Okay, so yeah, I have JSX and the CSS. Okay, I don't know what I am doing here. Just close all the file. Okay, so now first of all write RAFCE and just import its CSS first. Okay, so from the same directory write side dot css. Yeah, now I have to import this side in the home page. So for the home page dot jsx, I will remove this text from here and I will call the right side just like this. Now let's save this and have a look at the application if there is an error. No, there is no error. It's working fine. Okay. So now inside the right side, first of all, I will make a parent div with the name right side. Okay. Inside this, if I have a look at a pre-built version, you can see that we have these nav icons in the top of right side. So I am going to make these icons, and for these icons first of all I have to import all these pngs. So yeah, I have pasted some code. to import this, first of all, I am importing the home PNG, the notification PNG. All these are available in the image directory. Similarly, the comment PNG, the previous one we have used, and the setting PNG is available from the icon scout library. Okay, so these are very general stuff. Now to use this, I am going to make a div with the name nav icon. Inside nav icons, first of all, there will be an image, and the first image is going to be the home image. So yeah, so by clicking this, we can navigate to the home page. The second one will be the UIL settings. Yeah, the second one similarly will be the notification PNG, and it should be in the curly braces like this. And if I just copy and paste this, the third one should be the comment PNG. Okay, now let's save and see. See if it is imported or not. Okay, so yeah, these 4 PNGs are imported now. Okay, it's time to style these PNGs in the right side. So I will go to the CSS, and here first of all I will target the most parent class, the right side, and I am making it display flex. As
What am I doing?
we know that we want all the things inside this right side in the column direction, because you can see in the pre-built version, first there will be a nav icon, then there is trend card and the share button. All these are in the column direction. So I am making them as flexion column, and gap between them will be 2 rem. After this, I am targeting the nav icons div, which is this one. Okay, this one which contains all these PNGs. So yeah, of course it will again display flex with the margin top of 1 rem. Okay, so because I want some distance between the top of our screen and the icons. Okay, after this I am making the justify content space between, so they will take the whole space available for them. So now the images inside the nav icon will have width of only 1.5. rem, and the height should be also 1.5 rem. Now let's save and see the results. Here you can see how beautifully these nav icons are aligned.
All right, this is where we put in a little twist, a little twist. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into my GitHub folder. GitHub. We're gonna look at the CSS menu, I suppose. Go into main. Copy this. App.css. Then we need to copy just go into disco block. And we want copy this. And we'll place it right in the middle. Boom. Awesome.
It's time to make the trend card for our right side. So what I will do, just below this, I will make a component with the name trend card.
App.css. SVG, but it's not doing it. Oh, of course. There we go. There we go. Nice, we got the guitar back. Wow. Whoa, let's go.
Card like this. Of course, we have no such component. So again, I will make this with the folder name trend card. I know it's boring to do it again and again, but it is necessary for pure CSS and React. Okay, so as it is beginner friendly tutorial, so I have to do it again and again for you guys like this. Okay, so now in the GSX RFCE, and I should import it CSS, import from the same side the trend card.css. Just save it and the CSS on the right side. Yeah. Okay, so now I have to import it by auto importing or the IntelliSense. Yeah, now just save it and see the results. Here we have the text trend card, means it's working fine. So if you have a look at the pre-built version of application, you can have an idea that again we need some data to make this trend card. So what I will do again, I will go to the data folder, and inside this I am making another file trend data.js. Again I am repeating
Trenddata.js.
that I am making these files.
I'm gonna yoink it. I'm gonna yoink this real quick. It's the last one.
Files just for the sake of simplicity in our front end. We will not use them in a full merge stack application. We will do this stuff dynamically. So for now, just save this and let's close it. Okay, so I will go to the trendcard.jsx, and here I will make a parent with the class name of trendcard. Okay, so I am just keeping this tutorial very simple for the beginners. Okay, after this, first of all, I am making an h3 heading which is saying trends for you. Okay, now I am importing the trend data, so I will say import the trend data. I do not know why it's not importing. Let's have a look. Import trend data. Yeah, but why it's not auto importing from? I will go again outside, then inside the data, and then trend data.js. Let's save and have a look if it is imported or not. Is declare but value never used. Okay, I will iterate through this trend data, and I'm just doing this by mapping. And now for each trend, what I will do, I will return a function which will return some JSX. Okay, like this, and inside this JSF, first of all, I am making a div with the name trend. Inside the trend, I will have to span. The first span will representing the trend name. So I will say trend dot name. Name, and similarly the second one will be showing the number of shares the trend have achieved. Okay, so they should not be a hashtag. Now let's save and see if there any difference. Yeah, we have all the trends with the number of shares. Okay, so these shares are in the K, so I just write K shares. like this, where K means 1000. Okay, so now just save, and here we have the cable. It's time to style this trend card. So what I will do, I will go to trendcard.css and then target the most parent class the trend card, and I'm making it a display flex with the flex direction column because all the trends are in the vertical direction, and then the gap between them will be 1 rem. The background of our card should be the card color that we are using for this theme, and the padding of this card will be 1 rem. There should always be a border radius in every card, so I am giving it the same of 1 rem and the padding left of 2 rem. Let's save and have a look. Okay, so now it is looking very fine. The only thing we have to do is to style the interior of this card. So for this, I am targeting each trend inside the card, making display flex. Direction will be the column. So the number of shares and the name of the trend will be in vertical direction with the gap of 0.5 rem. Let's have a look. Yeah. Now I should make the trend name bold. So what I will do, I will target the first span inside the trend. What it is doing is first it is looking for the trend class name, then inside the trend it is looking for a span, and then it is targeting the first type of span inside the trend. Okay, so if you basically just hover this, now you can have a clear idea the element and then the first span. Because the first span is the name, so I will just make it as a bold like this. Now let's say this. Okay, there can be an easy way to do this by just putting this whole thing inside the b tag, but I want to show you this by this method, so therefore I achieved this. And the second span should have some smaller font because it is just a number of shares, so I'm making it is only 13 pixels. Now let's save and see. Okay, so our trend card is now ready to use as we have in the built version, and this is our developed version. Now it's time to make the share button for our application. So for the share button, I will go to the right side and I should make it smaller. Okay, just below this trend card, I am making a button, and of course I will give this the class name of button, and inside button I will simply say the share. Now let's save and have a look. So here we have our share button. Of course we have to do some styling. So for the style, I will say it as R button, means the right button. Now I will go to the right side .css, and here I am targeting the R button, and inside the R button I am giving it a height of 3 rem with a width of 80%. 80% will be enough of the total, and the align self as the center of the div. So yeah, let's save and see. Okay, I should also save this file Now we have a very beautiful share button. Okay, next we are going to make the profile page of our application. So for the profile page, I will go inside the pages folder, and here I am making another folder with the name profile. Okay, so inside the profile, I am making a
This is beautiful. What a great website. I love this website. It's just such a good website. Unbelievable. How could someone create something as beautiful as this? This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. Can't believe it.
JSX for our profile page, profile.jsx, and also a CSS will be like the profile.css. So now JSX should be on this side. Okay, RAFCE for the fat arrow.
It's different, huh?
React function, and now I am importing its CSS from the same directory, profile.css. Now let's save it. Okay, now to show this page on the screen, what I have to do, inside the app.js, I am just commenting out our home page, and here I am importing the profile page like this. Okay. I will do this dynamically by React router on the following videos. But for now, let's complete the front end part. Okay. So now let's have a look. Here we have our profile page. So before developing the profile page, let's have a look at a pre-built version. This is a pre-built profile page. You can notice this is very similar to home page. It still have three sides: the left side, center, and the right side. So let's start with the left side. So what's going to basically happen inside the profile.jsx? I am making a parent div dot profile. Okay, so as we know that it will have a left side, so I am
I need to see if it interferes. Doesn't seem so.
making profile left JSX component. So let's first define this component inside the components folder. Here I am making the profile left, and then the profile left dot JSX, and similarly the CSS like this. Okay, so again RFCE and imported CSS, import from the same the profile left dot CSS. Let's save this. Okay, so now I should import it by auto importing just like this. Now save and have a look. Yeah, this is profile left, means it's working very fine. First of all, I will style the profile page. So I will target the most parent profile and I will make position as relative. So why I'm making every page as position relative? Because I want to see these blurs behind the cards or the components we made. They should not be on the top of any component. They should be behind and showing us as a reflection. Therefore, I'm making every page as position relative. Now the display should be grid. After this, the grid template column will be as same as we have in the home page: 18 rem auto, 20 rem. Okay, so these are the three sides, and finally the gap between these sides will be the 1 rem. After this, I will go to the profile left component. Okay, inside the profile left component, again I am making div dot profile left class. So just like this. And if we notice the left side, here we have three components in the left side: the search bar, the info component, and the following card. Okay, so I am just simply defining the first of all logo search that we have made, and then there will be info. card that we are going to make, and lastly we have the followers card. Okay, so this is the followers card. Now let's make the info card first inside the component. So again, info card.
Okay, that's enough for today. I should go to bed soon. I'm gonna see what's up on YouTube. So, yeah, nobody's watching.